My name is Sonia Rafika, and my partner is Ayuning Rizky Rahmayanti. Today we will give an explanation about separating and retaining employee in Chapter 11. Next, Ayu. So the first one is employee separation. The definition of employee separation itself is employee separation occurs when the employment contract or at-will agreement between an employee and his or her company comes to an end. Some termination will be forced by an employer, including getting fired or laid off. Other separation, like retirement or resignation or voluntarily. So next, Ayu. So we will discuss the first one is about the principle of justice. Employees from conclusion about the system fairness based on the system outcomes and procedures and the way managers treat employees when carrying out those procedures. So the first next so the first principle is outcome fairness. Outcome fairness is a judgment that the consequences given to employees are just. The second one is procedural justice. Procedural justice is a judgment that fair methods were used to determine the consequences that an employee receives. The last one is interactional justice. Interactional justice is a judgment that the organization carried out in action way that way that took an employee's feelings into account. Next, the second one is legal requirements. Legal requirements, they must avoid wrongful discharge and illegal discrimination. They also must meet standards related to the employee's privacy and adequate notice of layoff. So there are next. So the first one is wrongful discharge. Wrongful discharge is the terminating an employee might violate an implied agreement if the employer had promised the employee job security or if the action is inconsistent with company policies. For example, might be that an organization has stated that an employee with an unexcused absence will receive a warning for the first violation. But an angry supervisor fires an employee for being absent on the day if there is an important meeting or important event. The second one is discrimination. Discrimination. Another benefit of a formal discrimination policy is that it helps the organization comply with equal employment opportunity requirements. As in other employment matters, employer must make decisions without regard to individual age, race, or sex, or other protected status. The third one is employees' privacy. The court also have long protected individuals' privacy in many situations at the same time. At the same time, employers have legitimate reason for learning about some personal matters, especially when behavior outside the workplace can affect productivity, workplace safety, and morale. The last one is notification of layoff. An organization that plans such broad-scale layoff may be subject to the Workers' Adjustment Retaining and Notification Act. This federal law requires that organizations with more than 100 employees give 60 days notice before any closing or layoff that will affect at least 50 full-time employees. So before if there's something happen with the company, before the company fired or close the company, they must give a notification first to the employee at least 60 days before the fired or closing. Next, So the third one is progressive discipline. The rule should cover disciplinary problems such as the following behaviors encountered in many organizations. There are tardiness, tardiness, absenteeism, unsafe work practices, poor quantity or quality of work, sexual harassment of coworkers, coming to work impaired by alcohol or drugs, theft of company property, and the last one is cyber slacking. Next, the fourth one is alternative dispute resolution. This is the method of solving a problem by bringing in an impartial outsider, but not using the court system. Next. So the first one is open door policy. Open door policy is based on the expectation that two people in conflict should first try to arrive at the settlement together. The organization has a policy of making manager available to hear their complaints. The second one is peer review. Peer review is the process of for resolving dispute by taking them to a panel composed of representatives from the organization at the same level as the people in the dispute. The third one is mediation. Mediation, conflict resolution procedure in which a mediator hears disputes of both sides and facilitates the negotiation process but has no formal authority to dictate the resolution. The last one is arbitration. Arbitration is conflict resolution procedure in which an arbitrator or arbitration board determines a binding settlement. Next, so the fifth one is Employee Assistance Program or EAP is a referral service that employees can use to seek professional treatment for emotional problem or substance abuse. So actually EAP is a training for alcoholic employees or employees that addicted to drugs. So this is actually the uh, treatment or training method. Next, the sixth one is outplacement counseling. This is a service in which professionals try to help dismissed employees manage the transition from one job to another. Next, so let's move on. Just a basic quote. Happy employees ensure happy customers. So we move on to retaining employees. Retaining employees refers to an effort by a business to maintaining a working environment which supports current staff in remaining with the company. So the first one is job withdrawal. Job withdrawal is a set of behavior with which employees try to avoid the work situation physically, mentally, or emotionally. The first one is job dissatisfaction. Many aspects of people and organization can cause job dissatisfaction, and managers and HR professionals need to be aware of them because correcting them can increase job satisfaction and prevent job withdrawal. The second one is behavior change. Behavior change from the manager point of view, the complaints, confrontation, and grievances may feel threatening. On closer inspection, however, this is an opportunity for a manager to learn about how to solve the potential important problems. So the third one is physical job withdrawal. An employee who is dissatisfied because of circumstances related to the specific job, for example, like an unpleasant workplace or unfriendly supervisor, may be able to resolve the problem with a job transfer if the source of the dissatisfaction is organization. or practices such as low pay scales, the employee must leave the organization altogether. The last one is physiological withdrawal. If the employee needs to leave the company in order to withdraw from their job, especially if they have been unable to find another job, they may psychologically remove themselves. Next, so the second one is job satisfaction. This is a pleasant feeling resulting from the perception that the one's job fulfills or allows for the fulfillment of one's important job value. So the first one is personal disposition. Personal disposition is people that making the selection decision should look for evidence or whether employees are predisposed to being satisfied. Interviews should explore employee satisfaction with past jobs. Second one is tasks and roles. This organization also can increase satisfaction by developing clear and appropriate job roles. The job roles are job complexity, meaningful work, and clear and appropriate roles. The second one is supervisor and coworkers. The two primary sets of people in an organization who affect satisfaction are coworkers and supervisor. They may be satisfied with these people for one or three reasons. The reasons are: first, same values, attitudes, and philosophies. The second one is the coworkers and supervisor may provide social support. The last one is the coworkers or supervisors may help the person attain some value outcome. So the fourth one is pay and benefit. Organization, uh, organization recognize the importance of pay in their negotiation with job candidates. HR professionals can support their organization in this area by repeatedly monitoring pay levels in their industry and for the profession or trades they employ. The last one is monitoring job satisfaction. This program allows the organization to monitor trends and prevent voluntary turnover. For example, if the satisfaction with promotion opportunity has been falling over several years, the trend may signal a need for better career management. Next slide. So we will move on to the retaining and separating issue that will be explained by Ayuni.
Okay, so we go into the retaining issues. First one is Hyatt. Hyatt is a hotels corporation that established in Chicago in 1957, and the founder is Mark S. Haplamazian. And in Indonesia, we have Grand Hyatt in Bandung and in Jakarta, and we have Hyatt Regency in Yogyakarta. So, on average, an employee is housekeeping stays with Hyatt for more than 12 years. Altogether, more than 14,000 of Hyatt's approximately 75,000 US employees have worked at the company for more than 10 years. Clearly, the hotel company is doing something to keep its staff around. The training program at Hyatt is top-notch, and the company has a solid program of hiring from within the identifying potential leadership candidates from its existing workforce. In the last few years, the company rolled out an entirely updated retaining program called Change the Conversation, which is based on principles from the Stanford School of Design that emphasize listening. Employees are encouraged to find new creative ways to solve problems and accomplish everyday tasks. It trusts its own employees so much that its number one source of new hires is via recommendation by its employees referral program. Moreover, Hyatt has championed diversity in its workforce. For 10 years running, Hyatt has made the human rights campaign's best place to work for LGBT equality list. The AARP called out Hyatt's commitment to hiring older Americans, and Hyatt has been featured by the NAACP and Hispanic Business Magazine for its hiring of African American and Hispanic employees respectively. And this is the takeaways for the girl. It's like a message for the leader or the CEO. First is investing in high quality education and training program will keep employees within your company for longer. The second one is support diversity within the workplace. And the last is encourage your team to be creative and come up with their own solution to problems. Next is separation issues. The company is KFC. As you know, KFC is a fast food restaurant. It's established in Kentucky in 1930 and expand the franchise in 1952. The founder is Harlan Sanders, and we can see KFC in Indonesia. Okay, KFC Indonesia under PT Fast Food Indonesia is one of the companies that has a lot of employee layoffs during the pandemic. This was happens because 115 KFC outlets in Indonesia is closed. The impact of the closure was that 4,000 and 19,800 KFC employees had to be sent home voluntarily. Social restriction led to a decrease in KFC income until up to 50%. Of course, all companies must find ways to maintain company stability. One of them is by laying off thousands of employees. I think it's enough for the presentation of separating and retaining employees. Is there any question?